All right. Good evening. You're welcome to our tutorials for today. The course we are going to look at today is pharmaceutical calculations. Pharmaceutical calculations. And the topic is dilution. Dilutions. In our last class, we discussed dilution. And again, after this class, still watch the previous lecture I did on that and compare the two of them. You will learn something new from the new one. Okay, this question borders on allegation, which is mixing of concentrations. So I'll use analogy of what happens when you mix. Okay, before then I will solve the question. I will get the question. Are you the question? Let me have the question, please. Okay, the question says, let me write it on the board. All right, thank you. The question says, find the volume. Something is missing. Please give me the question again. Something is missing here. Okay, find the volumes of this and let me do something here. And 25 milligram per 5 ml solution. Okay. The question says, have it. The question says, find the volumes of 100 milligram per 5 ml and 25 milligram per 5 ml solutions, respectively, that would be required mixing concentration allegation. You can have the one we call allegation alternate and allegation media. This is an example of what? Allegation alternate, where you don't know the proportion or the volumes of the two solutions you are mixing, but you know their concentration. Then the final solution you produce by mixing them, you know the volume and the concentration. So that's the where you use allegation alternates. There's a formula for that. But when you use allegation media, is when you don't have, you know the solution, the volume, and the concentration of these two solutions you want to mix. But you don't know the concentration of what you're going to produce by mixing them. Let me give an analogy now. If you have, let's assume, let me make this to be clear. Can you see the board from there? Let's assume this is solution 1. Okay? This is solution 1. And this solution 1, the volume is what? Unknown. Good. Then the concentration C1 is what? 100 mg per what? Per 5 ml. Then solution 2, you want to mix it with. It's the same sodium chloride, right? But you don't know the what? Volume. But you know the concentration to be what? 25 milligram per what? 5 ml. What this means is that if you take 5 ml of this solution, it will contain 100 milligram of what? Sodium chloride. And if you take 5 ml of this solution, it will contain what? This is 1, this is 2. 25 milligram of what? Sodium chloride. Does it make sense? So you mix these two concepts, these two solutions, to yield a third solution. Solution 3. This third solution, the V3, the volume is what? Then the concentration is what? 50 ng per 5 ml. That means if you take 5 ml of this solution, it will contain 50 milligram of what? Sodium chloride. Does it make sense? Now, look at, I put this whole thing here now in this form. They want us to calculate this V1 and what? V2. But whatever value of V1 and V2 you are calculating, if you add two of them, they'll give you what? 600 ml. Am I completing? At any point in time, V3 is equal to what? V1 plus what? V2. But C3 is not equal to what? C1 plus C2. That's where the issue lies. Can you see it now? Thank you. God bless you. This is what C2. Look up. At any point in time, V3 will always give you what? V1 plus V2. But C3 can never give you what? C1. That's why 100, 500. That's why if you add 100 milligram per 5 ml plus 25 milligram per 5 ml, you're getting 50 milligram per 5 ml. It shock you. So this is what we have in mind. So that with this now, this is to be able to calculate these two. We need what? Allegation what? Alternates. Allegation what? Alternates. But let's assume you have V1. We know this volume of the first solution. Say, let's assume the volume of this solution is what? Let's assume is 200 ml. Okay. Well, this is just an assumption. And this concentration is what? 100 milligram per 5 ml. Then the second solution, the volume is 400 ml. And the concentration is what? 25 milligram per 5 ml. Then the what you produce is C3. V3 is 600 ml. But you don't know the C3. In this case, we use allegation media. It is simple. Just bring this one down 100 milligram in 5 ml, 25 milligram in 5 ml. Do them as if you are working on what? You are working on fraction. But you will not follow exactly fraction. This is 100 milligram per what? 5 ml. Remember that this is just the concentration. But here the volume is 200 ml. So if there is 100 milligram in 5 ml, how many milligram will be in 200 ml? It can be 10 now. Look at it. Volume here is smaller. Volume here is small. How many will be here? Divide this by this. Divide this by this. It gives you 20. You use to multiply this. You get what you be here. Remember, you cross multiply, and I remember. True of us. If you cross multiply, you get what you should be here. Remember our ratio and proportion. Have you forgotten? Just cross multiply and get what you should be here. Simple. This is where this is 40. Here should be around 4,000 milligram. 4,000 milligram, right? Which is, remember if here is 4,000 watts milligram. Simple. This is for the first solution. We have what? 4,000 watts milligram in what? 200 ml. Our second solution here is 25 milligram in 5 ml. And the volume is what? 400 ml. So if we have 25 milligram in 5 ml, what will be in 400 ml? 2 what? Are you sure? Good. Here is 2,000 watts milligram. So we add up 2,000 watts milligram over what? 400 ml. Have you seen it now? So if you now want to add up now, add this and this, we have what? The volume should be added together because the V1 plus V2 will give you what? V3. So here should be what? 600 ml. You can now comfortably add the amount, but not concentration. You can now add the amount of the sodium chloride in the entire volume. You can add this and this. 4,000 plus 2,000 is what? 6,000 what? Milligram. So we have 6,000 milligram in 600 mil. But remember, the best way to put it is in percentage concentration. Remember, if you are moving this to percentage concentration, this 600 milligram must be, this 600 milligram should go to what? Gram. Remember, it should be gram in per mil. Remember the convention. Once it's about volume, weight, mass over volume, weight in volume, the weight should be in gram, not in milligram. So if you move it now, this will become what? 6,000 milligram to gram. How many gram? How many milligram makes 1 gram? No, it's 1,000 milligram now. 1,000 milligram makes what? 1 gram. True or false? So if we ever say that solving the question, I just want to use this to show you how to solve allegation what? Media. This question requires allegation alternate. I'm just telling you how to solve allegation media because we are looking for this final concentration. So if you move this to gram, it becomes what? If 1,000 milligram is 1 gram, how many 6,000 milligram will be how many gram? Good, 6 grams. So we have 6 gram in what? 600 mil. Remember, the percentage should be in 100 mil. Remember. So if you have 6 gram in 100 mil, how many gram will you have in 100? If you have 6 gram in 600 mil, how many gram will you have in 100 mil? Just go multiply. Is it 1? Is it 1? You're right, it's 1. It's 1 gram. 1 gram in what? 100 mil. So if it is 1 gram in 100 mil, we can move this to percentage. 1 in 100 is only 1%, right? So this is what? 1 what? Percent. True or false? 1 in 100. Then this gram will change to what? Weight. While this mil will change to what? Volume. So you have 1% what? Weight in volume. So with this now, the concentration, if we add this thing up, the concentration here is what? 1% weight in volume. If you move it to percentage what? Concentration. Okay? But if you still want to leave it at, because this one are in hundreds, are a milligram per 5 mil. That is our amount concentration. If you want to leave it as our amount concentration, no problem. At this point, you just divide out. At this point now, you have what? This will go, right? Right? Here is 6 will go here, 1. Right? 6 go here is what? 10, right? So we have 10 what? Milligram per what? Per mil. True or false? But if you want to leave it at 10 milligram per 5 mil, you make this denominator to be 5 mil. How will you make it? You divide until you get 5 mil here. What can you divide this thing with to get 5 mil? 600. What can you divide 600 with to get 5? It's 120, right? It's 120. Are you sure? So if you divide 600 by 120, you get what? 5 mil, right? Right? Then divide 6,000, this 6,000 by the same 120, you get 50 milligram. So it's worth 50 milligram per what? Per 5 mil. Look at it there. Have you seen the 50 milligram per 5 mil? We use the same quantity, even though I just fixed volume, but excuse me. This call is important. Excuse me. was very important. I couldn't miss it. Okay. Do you now understand this allegation media? It's simple. It's not difficult. Okay. Once you understand your ratio and proportion, you are good to go. Once you understand your ratio and proportion, you are good to go. Can I clean the board? Okay, fast, fast. So when you are done, we'll now go into what we have. This allegation alternates. When you are done. So these things are just different pathways. That is, if we this pathways goes to percentage concentration, if you want it in percentage concentration. This one goes to if you are reducing it totally to what? 10 milligram to per mil, that's where you end here. But if you want to maintain it in per 5 mil, that's where you now end up in 50 milligram per. Is it clear? So if you still divide this by this, it will still give you what? 10 milligram per what? These things are equivalent fraction. Remember when we did equivalent fractions, okay? These things are equivalent fractions. Once you understand the concept of equivalent fractions, these things are nothing. You can play around them. So today's date is what again? 2nd April. Okay, please fast so we can go over to what we have today. Okay, so let's now solve this allegation alternates. Sorry. Okay, so this is what you understand what I said here. That when you don't know the volume of or the proportion of what you are sometimes they may not ask you about volume. Sometimes you'll just be asked what proportion, in what proportion will you combine the two of them? Stop at that level. Sometimes you have to find the volume. That means before you go to volume, you must get the proportion first before you now move down to what because you need that proportion to get to what the volume or the ratio of their combined, their proportion. You need that combined before you can get to the what the volume. But this one they wanted to get the actual volume that was combined. So to solve this now, we use that formula. We use the formula for allegation what alternate, which is what say that V1 over what V2 is equal to C3 minus C1 over C2 minus what C3. Put it down. Put it down. Sorry. There's an error here, please. This should be C3 minus C2 over C1 minus C2. Sorry. Over C1 minus what? C3. It's C3 minus C2 over C1 minus C3. Please, correct it, please. Are you done? So V1 over V2 is equal to what? C3 minus C2 over C1 minus C3. This is allegation what? Alternate. Before we can use this formula, it's best Because you may not be able, if this in this form is in this form, you handle it may be difficult. Okay, it's best to do what? Anyway, you must not move it to percentage. I think that may be a long process. Okay, in that one I solved. In that one, this question I solved before. I moved this whole thing to percentage. Hope you've learned how to move to percentage concentration. Please solve with what I did here now. Compare with what I did in that. Watch that video online. Then it will help you to recall how to move this from amount concentration to what? Percentage concentration. So if that's the case, let me just use this in like this and see how far we can go. Let's use it as amount concentration like this. Let's see whether we will get the same answer. I think we should be able to get the same answer, because moving to percentage may be a long process. In that lecture, I took that long process. I took it. But let's leave it in what? Amount concentration. Most students have tried to use this in failed it because they couldn't handle this. That's why I normally move it to percentage concentration. But if you don't move it, and if you can handle it, wonderfully, it's okay. Let's see. Now, to handle it now, we can divide this thing totally to get to per mil. True of us. We can leave it at per mil if you want. We can also leave it like this, but be careful when leave it like this, because the time will come, you will know how to handle this denominator. You can start solving fractions. You become confused. If you don't know how to solve fractions, you'll be having issues. Okay, let me leave it like this. Let's see how far we can go. All right, so in this case now, V2 over V1 over V2 is equal to what? C3 here is what? No, 50 milligram per 5 mil. So we have 50 milligram per what? 5 mil. Minus what? C2 is what? 25 milligram per 5 mil. All over what? C1 is what? 100 milligram per 5 mil. Minus C3 is what? 50 milligram per 5. This one is shorter, but be careful about this place, okay? You see what I'll do here now. So V1 over V2 is equal to, look up from here now. There's per 5 mil. So you just pick one, right? And subtract this. Okay? So 50 milligram minus 25 milligram is what? 25 milligram what? Good, per 5 mil. All over, there's per 5 mil here, there's per 5 mil here. So you pick one. 100 milligram minus 50 milligram is what? 50 milligram per what? 5 mil. Look up. Per 5 mil is here. Per 5 mil is here. You'll cancel out. So this will cancel what? So we are left with what? 25 milligram over what? 50 milligram. Do you understand how we cancel out? Remember, if you go to your elementary fractions, we have this is the same as saying 25 milligram over 5 mil. True of us, divided by what? 50 milligram over what? 5 mil. Remember the law of fraction. This, for this to turn to multiplication, it becomes what? 25 milligram over what? 5 mil times what? This will come up. 5 mil over what? 50 milligram. 5 mil cancel 5 mil. So that's how we got this, right? So milligram will do what? Cancel milligram. 25 divided itself is what? 25 divided itself is what? 1. 25 divided 50 is what? Huh? 25 divided 50 is what? How many 25 make 150? Make 50. 25 divided 50 is what? You need to be a calculator. 1 over what? 2. So that means V1 over what? It is equal to what? Right. So what it means is that this is a proportion now. True or false? So that means ratio of V1 to V2 is equal to what? 1 is to what? 2. So that, do you know what this means? What it means is that at any point in time, V1 is half of what? V2. And V2 is what? Twice of what? V1. That's the meaning. So that means one portion of, if you want to, this 600 ml is contains one portion by volume of V1 plus 2 portion by volume of what? V2 will form 600 ml. That is parts. 1 part by volume, 2 parts by volume. If you combine the two of them, you have 3 parts. Will be equal to what? 600 ml. Are we together? Sometimes they will ask you what is the proportion. Stop at this level. Or if they ask you to find the volume, that means you find this volume. You use the proportion, set it with this 600 ml, or which is the final volume, to find V1 and V2, respectively. But this question asks us to find the what? The volume. So we continue. Does it make sense? So we need to do what? Continue. Please. Right, so I can clean up. So we can continue. Fast. There are soft. Welcome. You're welcome. There are soft. You're welcome. Brain Jelly. Thank you for liking. There are soft. Oh. Thank you for that. Please share with your friends. Invite them to come. Invite them. For our full lectures, go to our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Pharmaceutical the School Board. There are some. Thank you for sharing. God bless you. Please follow and share. Invite your friends to join us. We are live. Are you done? Okay, now let us now, since we have succeeded in getting the proportion right, let's now get the volume. Let's now get the volume. Can I clean here? All right. So let's get the volume. Let's get their volume. Now look up. This thing means this V1 is to V2 is V1 is to V2 as 1 is to 2, means that this one part is for V1, 2 parts is for what? V2. So total parts in all is what? Remember that V1 plus V2 is equal to what? Remember. So since V1 is 1 part, right? So V1 is what? 1 part. V2 is what? 2 parts. That means 1 part plus 2 parts is how many parts? 3 parts. That means V3 is actually what? 3 parts. Since V1 and V2 are contained inside this 600 ml, remember that V3 is also what? 600 ml. Remember, that means therefore 3 parts is equal to what? 600 ml. True of us. So if you want to find V1 is what? 1 part, right? So if you want to find V1, we set proportion with it. 1 part, 3 parts is 600 ml. 1 part is now how many ml? We don't know. So X is now equal to what? We cross multiply, right? 1 part over what? 1 part over what? No, times 600, sorry. 1 part time. We are cross multiplying. X is 1 part times 600 ml. Times 600 ml. Over what? 3 parts. Parts will cancel what? Parts. 3 will divide 600 is what? 200 ml. Since V1 is 1 part, that means V1 is equal to what? 200 ml. If you want, you can stop here. Because we are told that V3 is equal to V1 plus V2 is equal to V3. And V3 is 600. You can simply subtract 200 from 600 mil and get what? V2. So V2 is what? 400 mil. If you want, you can still continue solving, no problem. Let's complete it. Then for V2, V2 is how many parts? How many parts is V2? 2 parts. 2 parts. Which implies that, remember that 3 parts is equal to what? Remember, can you see the board? Okay, let me count this side. Can I clear here now? Can I clear here? Let me come this side so we can. No, let me count this side. So V1, V2 is how many parts? 2 parts. Remember that 3 parts is equal to how many mil? 600 mil. Therefore, 2 parts is how many mil? We don't know. We call it what? X. If we cross multiply, X is what? 2 parts times what? 600 mil over what? 3 parts, which is parts divide part, right? So 3 divided 600 is what? 200 mil. 2 times 200 mil is what? 400 mil. So V1 is equal to what? 200 mil. V2 is equal to what? 400 mil. Remember that V1 belongs to what? Belongs to which concentration? 100 mg. So, start. Let me. This may come as essay question. If it comes as essay question, when you are started solving, you have to write down what you got. Please don't just present it anyhow. Since you are getting V, don't stop here. Simply go back to the question and see how the question was structured. The question said, find the volumes of 100 milligram per 5 ml and 25 milligram per 5 ml solution, respectively, that will require to produce 600 ml of 50 milligram per 5 ml and 50 milligram per 5 ml solution. Simply say 200 ml of 100 milligram per 5 ml solution. Therefore, 200 ml of 100 what? Milligram per 5 ml what? Solution. And what? 400 ml of what? 25 milligram per 5 ml solution would what? Would be required to produce 600 ml of a 50 milligram per 5 ml what? Solution. This thing has its own answer in essay question. You may get up to 2-3 marks, 4 marks, depending on the total score for that question. So don't just stop here and say that you have solved. Write out what you solved, because in calculation, remember this is a practical questions. You cannot just after your work, after doing calculation in practical or fun calc, you stop. You have to state what you result of your calculation. True of us. So that's the answer. That is how you can put your answer. Rafzad, you're welcome. Precious EK722, you're welcome. Sarah, you're welcome. BBSZN, you're welcome. Annie, you're welcome. PC, you're welcome. Brain Jelly, thank you for following the live creator. Thank you very much for the follow. Please follow up, follow, share with your friends, invite them. For the full lectures, go to YouTube channel, our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel name is, let me write it on the board, is Farm Eternity, the Schoolboy TV. The Schoolboy TV. Farm Eternity, the Schoolboy TV. That is the YouTube channel name. Farm Eternity, the Schoolboy TV. Follow up, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Christopher, you're welcome. Subscribe to YouTube channel. Just click on the red button, you subscribe. Then click on the bell like button by the side, so that whenever we post any new lectures, we'll be among the first to watch it. So this lecture, by God's grace, will be uploaded. The live recordings will be uploaded. So if our live lecture takes place here on TikTok, always check. Sometimes I'm a fixed lecture, other things, other activities may take my time, and I will not be able to meet up with the time. Please don't give up. Always check up. Just go to your TikTok. Always check up so that you know when we are live. All right. So today we did dilutions, allegations, talked about all the allegations. HL, you're welcome. Allegation, alternate and allegation, medial, and how to calculate them. So we use this question there on the board to solve allegation medial and allegation alternate. So that's what we did today. God bless you as you join. So are you done? So it's clear, right? It's not difficult, is it? So if you see any question, no matter how the question is twisted, you can solve it. Good. So please watch other lectures we've done in enlargement and reduction of formula. There are many lectures we uploaded on different topics. Please study them. Then that's 1,500 questions. 1,100 questions I sent to people on different topics. Please study those questions. First of all, start with these lectures. With this revision we've been doing on different topics. We've done on that. The only one we've not done is isotonic solution, and that one we'll do tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do isotonic solution. But numbers and numerals they're not difficult now, are they? They're difficult. We've done on specific gravity. Please look for the video on this specific gravity and study it. Watch that lecture again. I don't think you were there. We've done specific gravity. We've done enlargement and reduction of formula. We've done picnometer, how to use picnometer. Please, calculation. Please watch those videos. We've done concentration. Please. Yeah. It's on you. Just Start from the recent. In fact, even if you go to YouTube, just start from the recent FAMCAC, then start from recent and go down to the previous. Then study those things we have done. And I think tomorrow we'll just do answering solution. I think that will be our last contact, right? Before the exam. All right. So thank you very much. Feel free if you have any confusion. Feel free. Maybe you read something or you watched there's something you watched a particular lecture you didn't understand. There's something you didn't understand how I will arrive at that point. Please don't hesitate to ask. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your attention. See you next time.